Well, the Chicago Bears have announced their plans for a new stadium, and while the stadium is the renders of it and everything look amazing, we're gonna be old as hell when this stadium gets built. We're gonna talk about why and more
You,
right after this.
you,
You
not
gonna
me.
be my age by the time it's built. We're gonna flip flop.
Mm-mm.
Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. Stevo Haize in the building, and Stevo, man, this new stadium looks really nice. I love how Kevin Warren and everybody laid it out, right? So we now know that the new stadium, they are going to tear down Soldier Field, which was there was a lot of questions on if that was going to happen. They'll leave up some parts of Soldier Field as far as the columns and everything, but the proposition is to take down Soldier Field. The new stadium will be slightly towards the south of Soldier Field, still on the lakefront. Also, a transparent roof on that, so not a retractable roof, but it is going to be a roof that you can see through. And I actually think that's pretty dope for concerts, for games, everything. That could be really dope to have, look up and be able to see the sky, things like that. This is going to be a $3 billion stadium, which they are not increasing taxes for Chicagoans at all in this. So they're looking for public funding and things like that. But the thing in this that they are going to raise a hotel tax or use portions of a 2% hotel tax to do the initial funding, which they need to get up to $30 million on. And somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. My exact details on the finances may be a little bit off.
Yeah.
But how you feeling about it, Steve?
Yeah, to me, it was very detailed. Like, for one, I felt like I was back in college. Like, I was getting the whole presentation and the bulletin board and everything. So I felt like I was back in college. But it was pretty clear. First thing first, I got to talk about before I get into the stadium. I love the idea of tearing it down and using it as a new park and building a ton of fields. I seen 2 baseball fields and they turned into 3 football fields for a lot of the youth leagues in the city, which they talk about that we have a lack of. Because if y'all know, we in the city, and if you play anything about if you play football or not, especially on the south side, you got about 2 stadiums you could go to, Stag or Gately.
Yeah.
So they will open it up for a lot of high schools and even young park communities, all type of things. It gives them an opportunity to play at a field that's going to be groomed, and just other places to play at. So I love that they thought of the city first and not just tearing it down and just focus on the field life. And of course, I knew they was going to keep the columns. That's one thing was going to do. It's a national landmark and everything, so they was going to keep it. But they moved it a little bit south, which is kind of dope because I seen it. I was at first when I first seen it, I'm like, okay, if the stadium right here, okay, it's in the south. So I'm like, at first, I'm like, are we tearing down the McCormick place to put it right there? But it still seems like it's gonna be there. So, like, basically, it's gonna be where that little parking lot is at, which is gonna be dope. And then I like the way they positioning it because when you look at the stadium, it's that little vision with the window, and that's gonna give you the sight. If you sitting towards the south wall, you're gonna have a clean shot at the north touchdown and the skyscrapers. That's cold.
Yeah.
That's cold.
This is going to be, and I'm not just saying that as a Bears fan, this is going to be one of the more beautiful stadiums in all of sports, not just football. Like, this is state of the art. And when they were saying before they wanted to build a state of the art stadium, of course you look at that and say, well, what do you mean by that, right? Like, but this and what they've laid out here is truly state of the art, especially for the city of Chicago. They've talked about how many events they have never had here, right? Never hosted, a Final Four and things like that here. So the fact that that's coming along now, I do have more of a breakdown. So this is a overall $4.6 billion project. $2 billion is coming from the team. They will request a loan from the NFL. They have a fund for that, $300 million coming from that. A loan from the Illinois Sports Facilities Authority for $900 million, and that brings that to $3.2 billion. And the rest they're going to use to contribute to infrastructure as well. So this is a huge undertaking. And one of the first questions, me and Pat were actually talking about this new stadium about an hour before the press conference. He said, well, my biggest question is, what are we going to do about parking? I love that they did address that because listen, if you don't know, if you've never been to Chicago to try to park for a game, it sucks. Let's just be clear. It sucks.
It's bad.
So
It's not good. And
yeah,
I think that was one of the biggest things when we looked like we was going towards Arlington. I understood why, because I used to take that route to work. Going through that train, I'm like, "Ooh, this is such a perfect place
yeah,
for traveling purposes." And it's a nice piece of land, but for them to consider where they was gonna do the parking and the type of infrastructures they're gonna do, they're gonna make it extremely easier. And she stressed this. I forget what her name was, but she stressed like how difficult it is just to get there is the problem. So she said she was going with the city. They're going to be messing with the ramps, and they said 18th Street will now be 19th Street. I was like, oh, so they really helping it, and it's going to be connected to another ramp and possibly another ramp that's going to go straight into the parking. So I was like, okay, y'all really did y'all due diligence and what y'all was gonna do for everything. Because one of the biggest thing, I mean, of course, it was the stadium itself, but the second biggest thing, of course, was transportation.
yeah, for sure. Now this is going to take a while. Me and Stevo alluded to it in the opening. If I've gotten everything together right, because it said about 2 years of gathering funding, and then it's still going to take a few years after that to actually build, remodel. They didn't say where the Bears will be playing during the time of the remodel. I wonder if they're going to go back to Champaign like they did before when Soldier Field was
Probably.
being renovated, which sucks. But this is probably going to take about 5 to 7 years, Steve. I'm gonna
She
be
said she said
go ahead.
5. That's what
5.
she
So
said. She said about 5.
I'm gonna be 40 in my mid 40s almost. 42, 43 by the time this is built.
And I'm gonna be inching towards 30 at
Towards
that point.
30. It sucks.
Yikes.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a minute, but it's worth the wait. And I will tell you this, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this now. The plan is, regardless of when it's up or not, however many years, I will be there opening day for the first game whenever it happens. That's just gonna be my plan. It's gonna be something that I'm gonna prepare for over the years because I'm not gonna want to hear about it. I'm not gonna want to tell anybody else to tell me what it is. No, I'm gonna have to see that on day one. Period.
Most definitely, like that. Especially for me, it hit different because I used to pass that every day. My dad had to
Yes.
go to work, so we got to pass that. He went up north, so we passed that every day. So to go by and we're going to see uh just imagine, like some of y'all been to Vegas and y'all passing that new stadium, Allegiant Stadium over there. Just imagine you just traveling on the side. Now you just see this big old new version of the Las Vegas Stadium in Chicago. Now we having WrestleManias, we having Final Fours, we having all the concerts. Usher gonna move his Renaissance tour to Chicago. He gonna get on
As long as
everybody.
Diddy ain't performing with him, that's the only thing.
I mean, by the time this get done, Diddy might be done. So that's another conversation. But I just like the things they think of it, especially with the money they broke it down. Like you said, 2 million is coming from the team. They asking from a loan for the league, and they're going to give it from, I think they FIFA or whatever it was is the company that is what their business thing is for helping um give money to for people that's building stadiums, and that's what
Yeah.
they planning to do. So I think they said for the most part they got 70% of the money covered, and if they get that other percentage from that company, they straight.
Yeah. So we'll see. We got some questions that I do want to answer from Evie here. So we're not using Soldier Field until the new stadium is built. Well, immediately, yes, they're gonna raise funds for about 2 years, so they're still gonna be there. But once they break ground, they're gonna have to tear down part of Soldier Field. So I don't expect them to be there the whole. It's not gonna be an easy transition where you go from Soldier Field and then you turn around and you're gonna go to the new stadium. It's gonna be a period of time there, whether it's part of a season, a whole season, that the Bears are probably gonna have to play somewhere else. So
Yeah, I heard. I don't know if it's happening or not, but I did hear that possibly Northwestern is rebuilding their stadium and they getting a new stadium. So if it's done within that 2 period of time, they might go up there in Evanston.
okay. Okay. And then the statement from here from Joe says, Bears are blowing this if they stay in Chicago. Do you own the property? You would own everything. Go to Arlington Heights. You'll make a lot more money. It's not just about making money. This is also about bringing money to the city. And let's be clear here, 98% of the stadiums in the country are publicly owned. We got to, like, I get it. The Bears, what they were trying to do, and that's why what they were trying to do was so major as far as having a privately owned stadium that's owned by the team. That's not common. Almost every stadium that you will ever be into in this country is also owned publicly. So I won't say that they're blowing this because they're still creating jobs. They're still creating infrastructure. They're still creating a new experience for their fans. The Bears are good. Best believe the Bears reviewed all of this before they decided to stay in Chicago. They're going to make their money. So,
and they still have that property. So it doesn't matter. They can, to have a big piece of land in Illinois, they straight. Because they can build whatever they want on it, they're going to make money. They can sell it again, they're going to make it back. Or even more than they bought it for. So it's a win-win situation regardless anyway.
Yeah. So this is a major undertaking. This is, as well as we're ushering in seemingly a new era of Chicago Bears football. And hey, listen, 5 years from now, we'll know exactly what this team is. Let's hope that we're not still wondering what we're doing at quarterback by that time. But hopefully, let's hope that we. Let's hope that we're in a much different place on the football field, but then to open this up as well, it's just huge and it's major. And we have currently the oldest stadium in the NFL. When the stadium was open, I talked about this a lot. When Soldier Field was open, it was the second largest stadium in the NFL, and I think one of the top 5 largest stadiums in the country. We are it's the smallest stadium in the NFL now. That's how much time has passed us by. It's time. We need this. We deserve it. It's time.
Yeah, they're doing it with so much care. Like as he demonstrated, I don't know if you caught it, but like this whole design of the whole project came from 1933 when the designer was trying to design for the World Fair, and he bringing it to life alongside for it to be implemented with our museums and turn them into campuses.
Yeah.
And it looked dope.
It looked amazing.
It looked crazy.
The fact that we are now in an age where we can bring to life designs that people thought were so futuristic that now we're in like I said, the whole having the transparent dome and being able to see the lakefront, that to me is going to be so amazing to be in. I can't wait, bro. I can't wait.
Like, bro, can you just imagine that shot or the first kickoff there and it's towards that window? And if it's a night or a game, you just seeing the sky. Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know, C-Dub or Bobby. So 2 years of funding, 3 years to complete. So we're looking at about 5 years. Add in some maybe delays, 5 to 6 years if everything stays to perfect schedule, 5 years. But as we know, I say 6. It's probably going to be 6 until we're fully up and going there. So
yeah,
still a long time, man. We this podcast should be at 100,000 subscribers by then, hopefully.
Oh, Bob, a million. What you mean?
So. Yeah, man, but this is really big for the city. Great question from Sydney here as well. When do they plan to start building? Also, where will the Bears be playing? Well, as kind of mentioned early in the stream, they're kind of expecting Northwestern's building a new stadium, so maybe there we'll see what's launched is there. But they're going to do 2 years of raising funds through that 2% hotel tax they mentioned before. So it's going to be at least 2 years before. Maybe they may start breaking ground or maybe some things before then as the funding comes in, but they're doing 2 years of raising funding. So that's the longest it's going to take until they break ground. So
these damn hotels already high as hell. Man, they people ain't gonna want to come to Chicago for a good minute.
Yeah, hey, listen, it is what it is when it comes down to it, man. And then a Super Bowl in Chicago, man,
that could have been happening. And that's the one thing, like I keep saying, the level of care that everybody has. Like he was offended that we was not even on the top 25 list of any of those big events, even wanting to be here. We weren't even thought of, and we're tourist side. We're top 3 worldwide, so it's crazy.
Yep. a new change, and we'll see what that brings. Any last thoughts, Steve, before we get up out of here?
Hey, that was a dope. That might be the shot of that whole thing might be my profile picture for a little minute. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, bro, I'm
That's
definitely
cold.
gonna make it. You know how you have the banner on Twitter, Chicago Bears Central?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
definitely
dope.
putting it on the banner, bro. Like it gotta
That's
be like
cold.
because it's beautiful. I want to mention this. So as y'all know, for those that have been paying attention, Stevo basically runs the Chi-Town Sports Central page on this. He hasn't posted any new videos in a while. I'm gonna get him on about that. But he's 7 subscribers away. 7 subscribers away from being monetized over there. Y'all go show Stevo some goddamn love and go subscribe to him over at the Chi-Town Sports Central. We do stream all the live streams there, but then outside of that, we'll be getting back to doing our roundtable episodes over there where you're gonna get that from us. Y'all make sure y'all go over there. I'm trying to find the link to it so I can put it in the chat. I was trying to buy time. But yeah,
That's the problem when you got 142 links.
hey, fuck you too.
I mean, it
I
is
agree.
what it is.
Yeah.
We got 8 channels.
There goes the link in there. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe over there. There will be exclusive content that will be coming over there. That's not just on Bear Central. That's not just on Bull Central. So y'all make sure y'all stay subscribed over there. Let's get 7 subscribers over there before the end of this. So Steve-O can go ahead and start making that money because he deserves it. He's great. He's talented and he's smart. But yeah, any last thoughts, Steve-O? I think I already asked you that.
No.
All right, bet. Well, thank you guys for tuning into this random live stream. Hopefully everybody's excited about this major undertaking, and hopefully we see you guys all at the new stadium. They didn't announce the name to it either, did they? Can't wait to see what that's going to be, man. But love you guys, man. Chi-Town up, bear down, y'all.